A blow to President Trump's immigration crackdown. A federal appeals court now says that he illegally used the Alien Enemies Act to quickly deport alleged Venezuelan gang members from the United States. The court rejects his claim that the migrants were part of a quote-unquote invasion. It was in March, you'll remember, that the president invoked this 18th century law to send hundreds of Venezuelan migrants to a notorious prison in El Salvador. But even with this ruling, the legal battle is not over. CNN's Caitlin Polantz is tracking this one, joining us right now. Tell us more about this ruling, what it means, what they said.
Kate, this is a lengthy ruling from a very important appeals court, and the question they're answering here is, are we in a war? And they say no, not in this context. The reason that this case is before this court, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals overseeing Texas and other southern states, is that the administration, the Trump administration, was trying to send Venezuelan migrants that they identified as being linked to the gang Tren de Aragua to El Salvador, to a prison, very swiftly. Those people went to court and said, wait a minute, they're using a law called the Alien Enemies Act that was passed many years ago and has only been used during the War of 1812 and the Great World Wars, World War I and World War II, to remove people without a lot of due process. That is not what this is, and Donald Trump is using that term improperly. The court ultimately agreed with much of that argument, saying that the Alien Enemies Act, Donald Trump is invoking it here to try and remove immigrants from American soil, but it can only be used when there's a declared war, an invasion, or a predatory incursion by a foreign nation. There's not a war here, and as far as the words invasion and predatory incursion go, that means there has to be some sort of military force. And what Tren de Aragua does on U.S. soil, even if there is alleged drug trafficking that they're participating in as a weapon of war, as the administration says it is, that is not going to amount to a wartime where the president can use this particular act. What Judge Leslie Southwick of the Fifth Circuit writes, we conclude that the findings do not support that an invasion or a predatory incursion has occurred. We therefore conclude that petitioners are likely to prove that the AEA, the Alien Enemies Act, was improperly invoked. This is a lot of legal, technical language looking at individual words in an act from many years ago, Kate, but it's really important because this is about the president's power to enforce his immigration policies. This was something that the Trump administration tried in the spring to remove immigrants, and now the question remains, how far can the administration go? This is going to likely ultimately be looked at by the U.S. Supreme Court, but this court, the Fifth Circuit, is not buying this argument from the Trump administration. Kate?
It is fascinating, and as you describe it, even when they get into technical details of various wars, this is what it looks like when you push the bounds of something or the bounds of something hasn't been tested. And that's what we're seeing play out. It's really fascinating. Caitlin, thank you so much.